Hey everybody. All right. I know many of you are going to be checking on from restoration, and so I want to encourage you, if you will, to go ahead and share this um, with some folks. Some of you can share it in the group, some of our Facebook groups, our church family group, and our the other groups we've got going on, the prayer group and whatnot. So if you could just share it, and we'll get started. We'll just give a few moments for some people to hop on here. And man, I hope everybody's had a good day. We had a great turnout in the house. So many were sick and wasn't sure what was going to be happening with that, and we had a great turnout. Good group of people showed up, and number of you watched online, and so very thankful for that you jumped on and joined us. And then also those of you that were in the house, I know many of you are dealing with sickness, and so I'm glad you were able to join us either way. So we're streaming live here on Facebook. We're also streaming live on YouTube as well. So if you can, just share it. We're actually on the restoration page, and so I'm going to go over and share it to my page. I think because I said that we were going to be on the restoration on my page, but we're actually on the restoration page because of the way that we have everything set up. So I can see your comments. Lindsay, Janelle, hope you and Chris are doing well. Hey, Miss Pat, Sonia, yeah. So we're ready to go. I'm sharing it. Let's see. I have several different devices going on here, so y'all hang with me. There we go. Got it shared. All right. So I'm not going to take long, not going to take a lot of your time, but I do want to. Hey, Randy Suggs. Hey, I got a message that you have been under the weather and sick. I'll check on you this week, and I haven't talked to you in a while, and I want to check on you and make sure you're doing good. But we got a message today that you had not been feeling well, so I'll be checking on you, and hope you're doing well. Appreciate you and Miss Patricia and all that you mean to us. Hey, Julie, we're here and you're better. Well, I am thankful. I have been very worried about our people. Elisha, I'll cut you. There is not a snake in my yard. Snakes do not come within my property line. So y'all can just forget about that. So want to jump in and just share some things with you. Thankful that you joined us. We had hoped to do this in person. My plan was to do this in person and have everybody come to the church and us just have a time of fellowship and share just the vision of all that we've got going on. But just with so many that were sick and so many wanted to be able to see this, I just felt this would be a better way for us to be able to share everything, get everything out. Now let me tell you, we're going to try our best to get as much of this posted as possible on the wall so that you can see what's going on. But also we'll be sharing it next Sunday. We'll have tables set up for all of the small groups that we're going to be sharing with you tonight, and everything that we've got going on. Now listen, I want to pray that the Lord will be with us tonight. At the end of this live feed, I'm going to be praying for our military and all of you that are sick. And so just hang on and we're going to pray. We've got some military connected to our church that are affected by this recent deployment. We've got some that are setting on go that have been told with just in a few hours that they need to be ready to go. And so we need to be praying for them. Some that are connected directly to our church family. So we're going to do that right after the end of this. And like I said, I won't take a lot of your time. Just want to share some things with you that I can't do in service, but this is just kind of where we're at, and I just thought this would be a great way. My original plan was us to get together as a church, have some lunch, have some dinner, fellowship, and that type thing. But we're going to do that in a couple weeks. We do our 1 year anniversary, our 9/11. We'll sit around in fellowship after all that's done, and we'll have some opportunity this fall to fellowship and get to know each other. A lot of new people coming in. I had several first-time guests today, and so we're going to connect with them and everybody get to know them. Teresa Brewington, I see you're there. You're with Kelly, and I just text with her. If you'll, and we'll be praying for her, and I'll follow back up, and we'll be talking to you this week. Janelle, I will get you that, and just kind of where they're at, where they're connected to, and that type thing. So. Let's pray and we'll jump in and get started. Father, we thank you for this day. I thank you for the people that are on this live feed, the people that make up Restoration Church. And I just pray, Lord, that you would just bless them. Bless our time on video. Lord, I know this isn't what we necessarily wanted, but Lord, there'll be plenty of time for us to fellowship as a body and to connect. And Lord, I just pray you would just be with us during this time. In Jesus' name, amen. So, hey Barbara, I see you're a friend of Lisa Cotton's. We're honored to have, anytime we have folks from all over, literally all over the world that follow our ministry. So, very, very, very thankful for those of you that connect with us that way. So, I know some of you will go back and watch this later. You can pause it. You can go back and pause it later and get all the information off of it. I'm going to do my best to try to just share some things with you and not mess all this up. So last year, we planned and we launched as a church in September. A number of you came to us because you wanted to be a part of a small group, and we knew that was something that we really wanted to do. That was going to be very vital, a very intricate part of who we are as a church, and so. We had hoped, thinking maybe by the spring we could launch, and it just didn't unfold that way, and I didn't want to rush it. And so this fall, one of the themes that I just really felt like the God was saying is we're still in this pattern of restoration, but we've got people that are all over the place in that process. Some are still at a very hurt place in that process. Some are still trying to learn how to forgive. Some are still trying to learn what that story means. Some are just trying to figure out where they fit into the kingdom. I'm going to answer all those questions tonight and help you see what it is how it is God's called you to be a part of that. And so let me just kind of start from the top, and then I'm going to go through all of these small groups and I just share them with you, and then we'll jump into some other stuff that God's called us to do this fall. So. God has blessed us tremendously with people from all walks of life, all age groups. Many of you know Mike and Jamie Smothers, who would do our children's ministry. Yeah, Kelly, I see that. Elisha, if you're on here, will you share that link to a YouTube? I've had a few people tell me that's messing up on them. And some of them, we'll share the link to the YouTube in the comments below, so you can see that. Elisha will get that shortly, I hope, if he's on here. And so God has blessed us tremendously with people from all walks of life, all age groups. Many of you know Mike and Jamie Smothers. Mike and Jamie lead our children's ministry. They do an incredible job, and they're still working to build their team. Our toddlers, our nursery, our babies, and then our kids' church, of course, they do. And so they do a tremendous job with that. Earlier this year, the last part of last year, Nellie and I felt like that God was calling us to extend to Elisha and Claudia the opportunity to be our next generation pastors. And what that means is youth and college ministry for us. And they lead our youth ministry. They have an incredible team around them of folks that I'd miss somebody if I tried to list who all was on their team. But they have an incredible group of people around them, of leaders that help them with all that they're doing, and they just do a great job. Now they do small groups, however, they do once a month on the first Wednesday night of the month, and they meet throughout the different parts of the building. Every Wednesday night they have a youth service. So if you're watching this tonight, you're new and you've got a teenager that's middle school to 6th through 12th grade, listen, you need to connect with Elisha and Claudia and let them know. I promise you, them and their leaders will make your teenagers feel welcome, and they will do a great job of connecting them and making sure that they're a part of what they're doing. I know they've got some events coming up this weekend. Friday night they're doing something with the middle schoolers. Sunday night they're doing something with the Sunday afternoon they're doing something with the high schoolers. Saturday night college ministry, and so they do the youth ministry Wednesday night 7 p.m. So if you got a teenager, listen, no excuse, get them there, and I promise you they'll have a blast. They've always got something going on for them. The next thing they lead is our college young adult small group. Now, there's some of these, as I talk through these, they are not just small groups, but they are ministries. And the way that they work are these meet year-round. Many of these will meet year-round, not just during our Grow Group semester, which will run from September, the 1st of September, through the 1st of December. So about 15 weeks. This is one of those groups. This is really a ministry that is really a small group for those that are in college and young adults. Now, let me say this, that we're working to in the next couple of months to possibly divide this up. We've talked about that as this grows. They are running 2025, so it's at a great place to really break that up. Our college students will be coming back from Campbell. We've had a couple college students that are going back home or back to their schools here recently. And so we've got college, those that are young adults, career, and right now they're all together, but they meet every other week on Saturday nights at Elisha and Claudia's house at 7 p.m. I don't have that on there, but it's 7 p.m. Now, maybe you're watching this and you are in that age group. Now, when I say that age group, you've graduated high school up through about early 30s. I know that's a wide range, and that's why we're planning to, in the future, to divide that group, break that group up. But right now, they're working through The Chosen, which is a really cool. If you've not seen The Chosen, you need to check that out. And I will tell you, I've seen some videos. I could show you videos of a 6 p.m. I apologize. 6 p.m. Nonetheless, if you were in that age group, your college ministry, maybe you're coming back and you're a part of Campbell and you're just coming back, connect with them and let them know that you want to be a part. That is Elisha's cell phone number. Text him and let him know that you want to be a part of this college young adults. They're going whitewater rafting here in a couple weeks, and so we have a lot for that age group, and there's a tremendous amount of them. They go out to, many of them go to lunch together on Sundays, a great group of young adults, and so I'm very thankful for this group. That's that information. We'll be sharing this as well on a slide, or Sunday you'll be seeing this so that you can connect with them and let them know that you want to be a part of that. And so that's that information. We'll be sharing that again. You can go back and watch this, and you'll see kind of that information and see when they meet and connect with Elisha. The next one we've got, some of you may know that we're already meeting, some may not, but this is a young married couples, and I talked them into letting me and Natalie sneak into that. Actually, Natalie is she's a little bit younger than I am, so she was able to sneak in, so I snuck in with her. But that is young marrieds in their 20s through about maybe 40. We're working to, maybe next semester we'll add one for those that are not so young married, that are maybe 35 to 45 or 40 to 50. But they have been meeting once a month, and they're talking about right now meeting twice a month, every other week. But let me show you that information again. They've been doing the Love Dare. Mike and Jamie Smothers lead that. Had a lot of fun. Last time I think they did pizza, or we provided wings, and they asked each couple to bring the pizza of their choosing, and so it was a lot of fun. Right now, as I said, they're meeting once a month on Friday nights, but they're looking at maybe meeting twice a month, every other week, and they meet at the church, and sometimes they're going to meet at homes. We've talked about maybe opening up homes and maybe doing a pool party together, that type of thing. This is also one of those ministries that will meet ongoing, and the Bible study will change. Now, if you're part of the young married couples, it doesn't mean that you can't go and be a part of another group, but I don't want you to overextend yourself, because some of these other groups meet on nights other than Friday nights. They meet at different times throughout the week. I'm going to show you that in just a second. And so there's a great opportunity for you to connect with some of these groups, but I don't want you to overextend yourself. They'll be ongoing, and that's why I want you to connect with the leader. You saw their information there. If you're in that young married couples, maybe you're in your late 30s, but you just got married. There's still opportunity for you to connect. And the Love Dare, there's people on here that will tell you, even just in the last couple of months, I've watched this study literally save marriages. And so it don't matter if you've been married 10 years, 1 year, 5 years, this is a great study to work through as a couple, and we all need that refresher. So be a great opportunity to work on that, and to improve and always work on your marriage and the communication skills there. So let me show you that once again. That's young married couples. Connect with Mike and Jamie. That's Jamie's cell phone, and you can text her and let her know, hey, listen, I'm interested in being a part of young married couples. I want to be a part of that, and so she'll connect you with that. Listen, all these are kind of what I would call specialized groups that are ministries that meet ongoing. But if you don't fall into this age group, don't worry. We're going to work on something middle-aged folks. We're going to work on some of these small groups you can get together and go out. Maybe do a group date night or a group bowling night. And I really want that to be an opportunity for you to connect with people that are your age group, people that kind of are like-minded or same place you are spiritually. And so the next one I wanted to share with you is women's ministry. And many of you have been asking about this. And right now, let's see, we're working on this women's ministry, and Natalie is probably going to speak at this first one, and I just want you to pray for her. She's got a lot going on physically, and the devil has just really come against her health, and we were just talking about this. I know that this is an emotion or a spiritual attack, and so I believe that God's got something special for our ladies, and so I want you to be praying over this. At least for this month, we're going to meet one Sunday. They're going to meet one Sunday night a month. Usually the last Sunday night of the month. We didn't want to do it this first coming Sunday, or this coming Sunday, because our children are going to be going back to school. But as for right now, they're going to meet at the church, and that is the church cell phone number if you're interested in being a part of that. 919-437-4452. You may want to jot that number down. That is the church cell phone number. So if you don't have my phone number, if you don't have my cell phone number, if you can't get in touch with somebody, that is the church cell phone number, and you'll see it on several other slides to connect, and somebody will get back in touch with you. Text, leave a message, we'll get back with you. There's a lot of calls that come to that, but let us know how you want to be a part of that. If you want to be a part of that women's ministry, you don't necessarily need to text. We're just trying to know how many to plan for on this and kind of what interest we've got. Let me tell you, with women's and men's ministry, as with all of these groups, Elisha, I think, is on here, and he will tell you, he shared with me a photo of his living room a couple weeks ago. Nearly, I think, 25 or so college young adults had gathered in his living room, and they didn't just have a time of fellowship and laugh about this. They've had several powerful moves of God during these gatherings, and that's what we're believing for. Is that, ladies, we don't take you away on a Sunday night just to bring you up to eat. You can do that at home, and you can do that just about any. You can find friends to go eat with, but to have godly friends that will meet with you and study the Word with you, that's what we're believing for you. And so that's what this is going to be. And Natalie will be sharing about what study you're going to be doing and walking through. But this is not just going to be a let's get together and talk about the Word for a moment. But this is going to be really diving into the Word of God. And so there you see August the 29th, which is 2 weeks from today, 6 p.m. in the sanctuary. And at least for the first time, going to be meeting on Sunday nights. And so women, please block out that time. Husbands, take care of the kids, feed them a pizza, make them a quesadilla or a sandwich or something, and let your wife get away to gather with our women for this. And I'm believing God's going to get us to the place that we can host some women's conferences and men's conferences. And so we're believing that this will be a powerful time for our ladies. Next, our men's ministry. You're going to be usually meeting on the third Saturday morning of the month. Now, I know some of you, I wanted to just kind of see how this goes. I know that it's crazy doing Saturday morning 6 a.m. But listen, we're serious about this. And so this coming Saturday, we meet August the 21st, 6 a.m. We're going to feed you breakfast. We're going to jump into the Word. We're going to have a powerful time. Men of valor. I'm believing that God is going to raise up a generation. Yeah, Elisha's. Several of you kind of can echo and share Elisha's upset face. But let's just see what happens. We may move that back. My main thing is I don't want to take you from your families all day long. And if we start getting there at 9 and we keep you to 12, you're going to miss much of your day with your family. And I want to honor your time. And so I know that there's a number of you. Maybe we can bump it back to 7. But let's gather this Saturday and have breakfast together and jump into the Word. So again, men, this Saturday, 6 a.m., let's come together and jump into the Word together. Another one I want to share with you. We're still working on some things, and we're going to be setting some dates for this here in the next couple of days. But our senior adults have been talking to some folks that about helping us lead this, and I've got to have the opportunity to sit down and talk to them about this. But I'm excited about this, just the opportunities to do things together. And I'll just tell you that I'm looking forward to just fellowshipping with y'all. One Thursday a month, maybe 11:30 a.m. Most of you are retired, and so let's come together and have a time of fellowship with our seniors, and let's get to know each other. Many of you see each other from across the sanctuary, and you don't have time to really connect. We're going to make that opportunity for you to do that. Now, I've got several more that are just very specialized, and there's a number of those for you to connect. And let me share these with you, and these are 3 that I know you may say, well, that's not something I'm interested in. Well, I believe that at some point all of these are ones that you this kind of accommodates everybody, because everybody at Restoration is at some point in this process over these next few things I'm going to share. Now, we seniors, yeah, I feel I'm 40 and I feel like a senior. At what point do I get my card? I got several years, I think. I got at least what I got maybe 20 years. I got 20 years. Yeah, I'm good. I will really need that card when I get there at 60. So these next few are going to be just some specialty things that are really going to help people through this process of restoration. Now, I think I have shared with you, some of you, about this next one, but it kind of accommodates everybody. Now, Lindsay, I think Lindsay is on here, Lindsay McGuire, and yeah, I'm still a baby. I feel it. At 40, I feel it. Lindsay serves in the military. I think she's in the reserves, and so she does a tremendous amount of traveling. Um, well, hey, I'm 10 years, Pat. I'll be there in no time. But Lindsay came to me and shared with me a heart to do this next group I want to share with you. And there's Lindsay. If you are interested in being a part of this, I'm going to share her information. You can message her. But she has done a tremendous amount of studying and training in this area. And I know that we've got some ladies and men. Let me say that, ladies and men, and I'm not going to the screen yet because I want you to see me. Ladies and men that are dealing with what she's going to be teaching on. She's a Army National Guard. There we go. This is one of those things that I said a couple weeks ago, women, but I understand that men also deal with this. And we wanted to open this up to those of you that are dealing with this. We are going to, I think that this next one, the next one may be more appropriate for those of you that are struggling with PTSD and that type thing. But this group that Lindsay is going to lead is called Shelter from the Storm. Shelter from the Storm, Hope for and I've got from Hope for survivors of sexual abuse. There are a number of men and women that are a part of our church that fit into that category and have been through some things that have been very detrimental to you, that have been just very, very tough on you, and you're still trying to figure out how to get through this. Maybe you've not talked to anybody about it, but you're dealing with this, and you're facing this, and you're trying to figure out how to overcome this. Now, this group is going to meet every other Thursday night. Now, this is a 12-week-long series, so if you sign up for this one, if you text Lindsay and want to be a part of this, this will meet every other week, and not only will this go through this semester, but it will also go into next semester as well, because some of the other ones are 7 or 8 weeks. This one is 12 weeks. They will meet at the church in the Church Connect room, and there's Lindsay's information. If you feel led to be a part of this, you've dealt with this. We're not going to publicize it and just tell everybody who's all in the group, but here's an opportunity for you in a solid Christian atmosphere, a sound biblical atmosphere, to come together and work through some of the things that you've dealt with and some of the things that you've had to face. And we want to be a place for you to be restored from that. And I just be honest with you. Some of you may be saying, well, what in the world is that? What in the world is that? And why do we need that? Well, I can tell you, I've been very surprised at the number of people connected that God sent us to restoration that have dealt with exactly that. And so I believe this is going to be good for those that are facing that, and maybe they're ashamed and they don't want to talk to anybody. We're going to give you a safe atmosphere and a safe place to do that, and let's watch God heal you. Now, let me say this, because I really felt like God was saying, let's build on this in the coming weeks or in this semester. And so that is kind of really at a place for people that are very raw in the things that they faced, are really, just, they're broken. They're still broken. They're still dealing with the emotions of what they've had to go through. And so that is going to be a great time of healing. And I believe it's going to be great for those of you that are a part of that. And I'm excited to see what God does for you. The next one is forgiving what you can't forget. Now, Lisa Turskic wrote this book, Bible Study, and so with this particular group, if you sign up for this particular group, there is a book. There is a book that goes along with that, and if you sign up with that, Denise is going to keep track of those that sign up. We will make sure we get you a book. We'll get you the book that goes with this, and I think we're just going to ask you maybe to make a $10 donation. You can do that through the app. We'll let you know when the books come in. But this is going to give us enough time, because we're going to start in 2 to 3 weeks, either the last week of August or the first week of September. And so that will give us time to get books, get all the printouts for all these studies printed out. This is going to be a great study. Maybe you've dealt with some things, and you're like, okay, I don't really know. I'm trying to forget this. I'm trying to let go of this, but I'm just having a tough time with that. And so we're going to. This is going to be a great study. I think it's about 7 or 8 weeks. Like I said, Denise is going to lead that. Let me show you this quick video that will kind of help you, give you a glimpse of what's going on and what this study is about.
Do you find yourself trying to deal with a situation so painful? It just keeps cycling in and out of your thoughts and almost hijacking your emotions. A day can start out so great, and then in a moment, an unexpected trigger just sends you spiraling in pain. And you start to wonder, am I ever going to find healing and peace again? I understand. In the past several years, my family and I have been through a really devastating season. And through a series of heartbreaking events, my marriage imploded. I was so caught off guard and honestly in a state of shock, and not just for a few months. It was like the pain and uncertainty was never going to go away. It lasted over 2 years, and I really was not sure if I'd ever write another book. But as I finally picked up the pen again and scribbled basic thoughts around what I'd been learning during this long season of pain, forgiveness seemed to be such a present need in my life. But what seriously started tripping me up when I started studying what the Bible teaches about forgiveness was my sudden realization of how my need for fairness makes me so resistant to this idea of forgiveness. Forgiveness sounds really nice and spiritually mature until you're the one that has to give it. And then giving it to people who've deeply hurt me, well, that became incredibly problematic. But what if forgiveness isn't supposed to be another hard thing we have to do? What if it's that forgiveness is that necessary step that we need to take to finally experience the peace we desperately want but can't get any other way? What if forgiveness is what's been missing in all the relational chaos that we're all just so worn out from dealing with in our lives? That's why we're going to do all this hard and holy work of forgiveness together. In forgiving what you can't forget, in this study, we're going to learn how to move on even when the other person refuses to change and never says they're sorry. Together, we're going to walk through a step-by-step process that will help us get free from the hurts of our past and feel less offended today. We're going to discover what the Bible really says about forgiveness and the peace that comes from living it out right now. We're also going to identify what's stealing trust and vulnerability from our relationships so that we can believe there's still good stuff ahead. And maybe one of the most significant to me is that we're going to disempower the triggers hijacking our emotions by learning how to embrace the 2 necessary parts of forgiveness. But together, I think we're going to learn a lot and finally understand why forgiveness is one of the most crucial and beautiful gifts from God.
All right, so you see it there. That's going to be a great study. Now, let me tell you this. Some of you may be watching this and you may see that one and be like, oh, I think I want to do that one, or I think I want to do this one. We will offer these more than one time. I don't want you to, if you're still at the place that you need to still be in Lindsay's group, and you're still struggling with what's happened to you, you're still struggling to try to find forgiveness, Don't jump into this study. You know, oftentimes we rush healing, especially emotional, because we want to get ahead of God. And sometimes God does things instantly, and then sometimes He does things in a process. And this particular semester is all about a process. And every single one of us are at different places in the process. Some of you are at a place that things have just happened to you, and they're just raw. It's just raw. It's just cut. Listen, I've got I don't know if you can see it. I've got a tumor on my shoulder there. Well, that's my left shoulder, and the doctor, I'm having surgery in just a couple weeks, and the doctor told me he's going to cut me a good little incision to get the tumor out. Well, I'm not going to be able to wear my my seatbelt for a little while, at least over my arm. Why? Because I have an incision. I'll irritate it, and I'll eventually get to the place that I can put that seatbelt back over my shoulder. But what happens is people still have the scar or the wound, and they just want to start moving on to the next step. And listen, it will raw, it'll cause an infection. Be careful. Don't miss the process of where you're at. So I want you to pray and say, God, where's it at that you want me in this process? If you're still raw and you're still dealing with the emotions of what's happened to you and what you've been through, do not come and sign up for this study until you've dealt with what you've been through first, because it's going to mess you up. And let me tell you something. Denise is going to do an incredible job with this. She understands this, and she's going to do a tremendous job with this. Let me give you that information for this again. Again, you saw the video there, forgiving what you can't forget. Denise is going to be teaching this on Saturday nights in the church at the Connect Room. I know it's every other Saturday night, but listen, with her work schedule, I wanted to make sure we accommodated her schedule. If you can't catch it this time, maybe you can catch it next time. But every other Saturday night, listen, it's 7 times between now and Christmas. Every other Saturday night. And actually the 1st of December. So take an opportunity to say, listen, every other Saturday night I'm going to be at the church. I want to connect with these people. The beautiful thing about this is you're going to be connecting with people that are in this group that are exactly where you're at in your walk with the Lord, that you can encourage and you can walk through this with. Listen, we neglect, the next one I'm going to share with you is the power of your story. I believe we neglect people's story. Don't neglect your story. Don't let the devil make you think less of your story. And just because you are still at the place that you need to be going through, you need to be in Lindsay's small group and working through those. That don't feel bad about that. We're all at different places, and you're going to connect with people that are a different place than you. And this, you can kind of see how this builds on still hurting, forgiving what you can't forget. And then this next one, let me share this next one with you, the power of your story. This is such a great study. Lee and Shannon Newcomb are going to be teaching this at their home, and I didn't put their address on here, but you can text Shannon and let them know that you want to be a part of that, and they'll get you signed up, but they'll get you their address, let you know when they're going to start meeting. They're going to meet on Friday nights at 6:30. Every other Friday night at 6:30 at their home. Going to be a very relaxed setting. Let me tell you something. I'm very excited about this, all of these, because, all right, so maybe you're a little bit further along and you've been through the trauma. Maybe you've gotten to the place that, okay, you're at the place that you've been able to forgive. Maybe you haven't quite forgotten it yet. And I told people this, and I had several people tell me that it changed their life. You'll know that God's healed you of your situation when you can tell the story like it's not your own. There's things that have happened in my life that very early on, when I would tell the story or tried to tell the story or share what happened with somebody, I got very angry, was still very upset about it. I just grit my teeth, and those things would happen, and I just would. The emotions were still raw. Listen, if that's you need to connect with Lindsay, and go back and find her information. She's on here. Connect with her and tell her. Say, listen, I need to be a part of your group. I'm dealing with some some things, especially the sexual abuse, the abuse that's happened. And maybe you were in an abusive marriage, abusive relationship, and the devil's still beating you up with the guilt, and you're still dealing with that. Connect with Lindsay and let her know you want to be a part of that. Maybe you've gotten beyond that, and now you're just trying to really forgive the person and really forgive them and let go of that, because you know that the unforgiveness is killing you. It's killing you. It will kill you, not them. You need to connect with Denise and say, listen, I want to be a part of that. Denise is on here. I saw her a while ago. Message her, text her, and say, listen, I want to be a part of your group. But this power of your story is you've come through all of that, and now you're at a place to say, listen, I need to begin telling my story. I want to begin telling my story. Shannon has put their address there. And you text her, let her know you want to be a part of that, and she'll send you that address. It's not far from the church. And it'll be a great opportunity to connect with folks that are just ready to share their story. Let me show you this video. I've got another video here for that. Take a look at this video.
Over and over again, I find myself in these situations where this conflict, even when it feels like he's not there, that he's there. He's working in your life, and maybe the resolution isn't exactly what you think it's going to be, but hold on, because there's always another chapter.
When you and I go to the movie theaters, we tend to pick stories that we know will evoke the greatest emotional response from within us. We want to see love stories that sweep us away. We want to see action-adventure movies that put us on the edges of our seats.
It's not about anticipating what he has for the future. It's about learning what we need to learn from the setting he has us in.
And when we begin to understand where we've come from, we're better equipped to really figure out where we're called to go. My hope is that you'll learn more about your backstory, and that when you do, you'll be ready to move forward.
It feels like we as believers, in attempting to tell Christian stories, fall so short of what Hollywood is doing, what great novelists are doing. Why do we struggle so much when we should have the greatest stories ever told? Why do we have the biggest problem telling our stories, being great at it?
All right, how cool is that? So awesome. So you see how this builds on itself? It just, all right, you're going through the hurt and the pain and the raw emotions of it. Then you go to then you go to the forgiving what you can't forget. Then you begin to tell your story. Then you get to the place that you can take that God's not done writing your story, and so you can share your story with somebody else, and maybe somebody will come along and you take this class, this group this time. You're going to be able to connect with other people that are ready to tell their story, and so awesome. I'm just very excited about the way that God has set this semester up of Grow Groups. Listen, it's going to start in the 1st of September. We're going to go through December, 14, 15 weeks, give or take one or two. But this is going to be such an incredible opportunity for you to expand where you are in God. Now, maybe you're saying, okay, done all that. I'm beyond the hurt. I've already forgiven. I know my story. I know where my story is at. Well, we got one more surprise for you, and I don't have a screen for it. But I'm going to, on Wednesday nights, because everybody's going to be able to come and be a part of this one via our live. But for those of you that sign up, we're going to invite you in to a time in my office. We're just going to sit around and we're going to study and work through spiritual gifts of the Bible. We're going to take the next 13, 14 weeks. It'll be every Wednesday night, and we're going to work through the spiritual gifts of the Bible. We're going to the gift of hospitality, all the gift of prophecy, the gift of teaching. We're going to walk through all of these, and then at the end of this time, right before we get to Christmas, those of you that are a part of that will have an opportunity to go and take a spiritual gift survey. And so that'll be up to probably the first 12 or 15 that sign up. We'll do that in my office, but we'll stream that live so everybody can watch that. So maybe you say, listen, I've been through all of that other, and I'm just trying to figure out where I fit into the kingdom, especially at Restoration. Because a number of you are waiting on the food pantry to open up, and I'm so excited about that. I'll give you an update about that in just a moment. But this is going to be a great opportunity to study what the spiritual gifts in the Bible are, and to see how you fit into that. Now, let's say you've been through all of that, and you say, listen, Pastor Josh, I'm beyond all of that. Well, we've got one more for you. And this is going to be an ongoing ministry. This is our intercessory prayer ministry. Intercessory prayer is going to be led by Boyd Beasley. We already have a group of folks that meet on Sunday mornings. Some of them meet on Wednesday nights. And this is going to be an opportunity for you to get together and study intercessory prayer. Now, let me say this to you. I have people that are intercessors that come to me a lot of times with prophetic words, and they'll share those words, and I'll jot them down. Sometimes I'll ask you to email them to me, and I'll put them in a little folder and hold on to them. And weeks, months down the road, the Lord will remind me of that prophetic word. It didn't make sense when you gave it to me, but later down the road it made sense. Or maybe it didn't make sense to me, but it made sense to you months down the road. Had one person tell me a couple weeks ago they had one 9 months before it made sense. You're going to learn how to journal what God is saying and to really go into battle for prayer. There's going to be several aspects of this group. They're going to meet on Wednesday nights. I've already shared that with you. Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. We're going to find them a place to meet. It may be in the toddler nursery or somewhere for them to meet. But they're going to be praying over the needs of the church. They're going to be praying over the needs of the house. They're going to be praying over the needs of the people. If you've got needs, you can send those, and they're going to be praying over those. Not only that, they pray before service. They're going to develop a team that prays during service. And they also have a group of people that, if you really want to stay late, that after all the ministry of the day is done on Sundays, they stay. And this is probably one of the most special things to me, is because they sit down and take time. And some of them sit there for a long time, waiting on us to finish. But they sit down and pray over Natalie and I and our family every single Sunday after service. And it's very special. I will tell you, we feel those prayers, and I believe those prayers are going to give Natalie the breakthrough that she needs. And so all of that, to be able to go and visit the sick and to pray over the sick, that's what this intercessory prayer team is about. So it's going to be a very incredible study on intercessory prayer, what that means, how to take prophetic words and to pray over those prophetic words, visions and dreams that God gives you, how to pray those things, and when to share those, who to share them with. Listen, a lot of times people, intercessory prayers, they get a word, and they may share it with the wrong person at the wrong time, or share it with the right person at the wrong time, or share it with the wrong person at the right time. All of those things are things that we need to know how to work through. And so, listen, that is all of our small groups. Let me just give you a rundown through that again so you can see that real quick. College ministry with Elisha and Claudia, the Chosen. Young married couples with Jamie and Mike, Love Dare. There's their information. Women's ministry will be coming up. There's the information for that. Men's ministry will be in just a couple, next Saturday, as a matter of fact. There's that. We're going to be working on senior adults, and we're planning to meet with them in September. We'll be getting you that information. There's the one. Lindsay is again on here. You can connect with her, Lindsay McGuire. Shelter from the Storm. Forgiving what you can't forget with Denise. There's the information for that. And the Power of Your Story. Lee and Shannon are going to be hosting that at their home, and they've put their address there in the comments. Let's see. Yes. Janelle, you're walking proof that knowing how to pray is the greatest weapon against the devil. And listen, if you feel called to that, there's intercessory prayer, knowing how to pray and being serious about that. And so, there's that. So, that is all of our small groups. We're going to have all of that available next Sunday. We'll have a table where you can kind of come and connect with those people. Have that information of, if you need to see their information for to text again, you can do that. And so all of that stuff is going to be available. We'll be able to communicate with you. We're working to set up groups so you can see all of that information. But if you'll give me about 10 minutes, and let me kind of finish up with where we are this fall. Many of you saw, you got information today about our 9/11 First Responders Family Day. Let me tell you, this is going to be a tremendous blessing to our people and to the people. I've connected with our sheriff deputies, our sheriff's department, the highway patrol. Many of our highway patrolmen are coming. Several cities around us. Several of you have taken them, and you know people. Firefighters, we're going to be hitting all of our fire departments around us locally and letting them know about it. September the 11th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, we are going to meet at 9 a.m. that morning, and I need volunteers. We're working on shirts. We'll have you a shirt to wear. We're going to have free food. We got a car show. We're going to have a number of really cool cars coming just for our first responders to see. We're going to have inflatables for the kids, for the first responders. Listen, most of the time 9/11 falls throughout the week. But it's really cool that this year that 9/11 falls on a Saturday, and it's the 20th anniversary of this horrific event that come against America. And we're going to be able to not just honor our first responders, but we're also going to be able to honor their families and their children and their spouses that so often go unnoticed. We're going to have inflatables there you see for the kids. We're going to give a free gift to them. We're going to give our challenge coins to them. Some of you heard me say this morning, we're building a axe throwing area at the church. We've got somebody that's working on that. We're going to have our very own axe throwing, and we're going to have it open that day for our first responders. How incredibly awesome is that going to be? Games, we're going to have some other games for the family, and there'll be a number of things. We're going to have free food. It's just going to be an incredible day of us loving on our first responders. But we're going to top it all off with just a time of honoring and remembering those that lost their lives on 9/11, but also those that have fought for our freedom since then. Hugh Daugherty will be with us. He is a first responder that was at Ground Zero, and he is going to be shared in the sanctuary. And let me tell you something, it is going to be incredible. If you know somebody that is a firefighter, a paramedic, in law enforcement, please get them. If they work for the Department of Correction, anybody that you would consider a first responder, maybe they work on they run a record and they're first responders. Maybe they're in the military or they're a retired first responder. Please, please, please make sure they get here for this event. It's going to be so powerful, and we're just going to celebrate and love on these first responders. We're going to have a prayer tent where they can come, and we're just going to pray over them. And so, going to be a powerful day. I know it's back to back, but the very next day, we're going to be celebrating our 1-year anniversary right there on the grounds. We're going to have those same inflatables. We're going to have the activity, the axe throw, and this will be for our church family to enjoy. We're going to have lunch. We're going to ask you to bring a side dish, enough to feed your family. We're going to provide all the drinks, all the tea. But we're just going to have a time of fellowship that day. We'll have tables set up in the sanctuary for you to sit down and enjoy a time of fellowship together. And we're going to spend the afternoon together as a church family. And we will not have anything that night. And then the very next day, listen, y'all, you gotta mark your calendars for this event. Less than a month from today, it starts in 4 weeks. from tomorrow, our Restore Conference. September 13th, 14th, and 15th. Listen, we've got some incredible preachers coming. Many of you have heard me. If you've been around me for any period of time, you know that Glenn and Emily Walters are very dear to Natalie and I. We've led groups to Israel with them. Pastor Glenn's going to be with us Monday night, and it's going to be incredible. Just make sure you get there. We'll say you a drink to keep your blood sugar right, and we'll get you a pack of chips or something. But you got to get to the house of God during that week. It is going to be powerful. The very next night, Antoine Miner is going to be with us. Antoine was on our live feed today from Fayetteville, a very close friend of the house, great friend. Yes, Sonia, the Restore Conference will be streamed online. But listen, it will be online. But if you need to get there, you need a ride, we'll run a bus to you. I'll send Elisha on his motorcycle, something to get you to the house of God, because it's going to be incredible. Antoine is running for the mayor of Fayetteville, mighty man of God who loves the Lord, but he's also stepped over into the political arena, and very few people have come under attack like this man has. And I am so excited about having him at our Restore Conference. Then the very next night, Wednesday night, Bishop Kevin Robinson from Divine Empowerment is going to be with us. And listen, you better get your pencil ready, sharpen it. Listen, the man is full of wisdom. Yes, each day will be streamed live. I don't want people to miss that if they can't be there, we're going to make sure you see it. But listen, 3 powerful voices for the church today are going to be with us. And once again, there's the information. That flyer's on the webpage. All the information you need is on the app. It's on the events on our webpage. And everything you need to know is there. So please make plans to be with us during that week if you can. 2 last things I want to share with you, and then I'll let you go. Tomorrow, those of you that were in the house today, I shared with you tomorrow. Let me get this right. Tomorrow we are feeding our schools. If you can help us, be at the church at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We've done much of the prep work to get things ready, and it's just going to be a powerful time of ministry. 11:15, we've got to go. We've got to be there to get set up. But 11:15, we are feeding the entire staff at McGee's Crossroads Middle School. We're going to go in and feed the entire staff lunch, love on them, pray over them, let them know that we're there. At 12 o'clock, we're going right across the parking lot to feed McGee's Crossroads Elementary. We have got an incredible lunch prepared for them of pasta, spaghetti, Alfredo, salad, bread, desserts that many of y'all have made. And we're just going to go in and love on these teachers. Then the next day, on Tuesday the 17th, at 12:30, we're feeding all the educators at Dixon Road, which is just up from the church. Going to be 2 powerful days of ministry, of touching some nearly 300 educators in 2 days. Will be prayed over and ministered to. And so I hope if you can make plans, if you can come and help us serve, come and help us serve. If you can come and help us get prepared, come and help us get prepared. If you can't stay the whole time, listen, we need you. We need your help. So do what you can to help us. But regardless of where you can be, please be praying between 11 and about 1 o'clock for these educators and us as we minister to them. And so that's happening tomorrow. Yes, Janelle, you are. There's so much, you know very well, of all that these teachers are going through with the uncertainty of what's happening with COVID and just situations we've never seen before. The last thing I want to share with you is about our outreach building. And so some of you heard me mention this morning, late last week. We communicated with the fire marshal, and a couple things he asked us to tweak, and we have agreed to do that. And I'm just very thankful for our county for working with us. And so we are making some arrangements to get everything in place. He has okayed everything. From what I understand, building and inspections, they should be finalizing everything and getting us our permit this week. Once we get that in hand, we will begin breaking ground for our footers for the building. And I'm praying and believing that just in a couple of weeks we'll have that building up, and we'll be able to begin doing ministry out of that by this fall. We have a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done of getting things ready for that, and so a lot's going to be happening to make that happen. And so many of you have given. We're going to be able to pay for that completely. There'll be no note on this building. You have given, and we have raised in the entire amount of money to be able to do that. And so I can't tell you thank you enough. And if you want to give, if you want to continue to give towards that, towards outreach, or towards the food pantry, anything you give at this point will allow us to be able to purchase food. We still need some deep freezers. I'm believing for 7 deep freezers to be put in this building so that we can hold frozen foods to be able to give out for families. I've been able to connect with a farmer here in the area that I live, and who has agreed to give us a couple chickens. Somebody in the church knows somebody that builds one of those things that you spin it. We're going to have to kill them ourselves. Spins the chickens and defeathers them. And we're going to be able to do this and to be able to help serve and minister to families of our area. Listen, we're going to feed them naturally, but they're going to get so much more than that. And so cannot wait to get this up and going to be able to minister to these families. And so we'll be keeping you up to date. Be praying this week that all that will come through for that permit. The last thing I want to share with you is this. As we approach the 1-year anniversary of this church launching, I'm completely humbled and blown away. Natalie and I can't thank you enough for your faithfulness and your giving. Up through June, some of you saw, and we're going to update this. We'll release a budget up through June, and I told you this a couple of weeks ago in one of our services. We were running to the good to the tune of about $10,000, and that is including all of the work we did in the building with the flooring and the remodel and purchasing a sound system. Take those out, and we would be running about $25,000 to the good. And I don't say that just to kind of tell you where we're. I want you to know what God's done. I will tell you that up to this point in the last year, God has been very good to us. We are doing very well financially, and most people won't believe this. Most people won't believe this, but we've never, ever passed an offering plate in our church, and we never will. People give because they feel led to give, and they understand the concept and the covenant of tithing. And so, listen. If you give, it will go to ministry, and it will go to further the kingdom. We are able to fund every ministry we have in our church. Children's ministry, youth ministry, young adult ministry. Everything in our church we've been able to fund. If one of our ministries needs something to be able to minister to people, God knows that the need's there. And so that's really where we are. And let me just kind of share this with you, and I'll let you go. We set up we closed on the property that we own, the 15 acres in the building. Of course, you see, getting ready to put another building on it. Valued at just short of $1 million. We owe about a little less than $650 on it. We closed on it through the individual that owned the property. And we have been paying our mortgage to that individual and their organization. I went to the bank and said, okay, listen, we want to be able to do this note through the bank. And you typically, and if you know anything about financing, you know that for a church to do that, it takes 3 to 5 years of finances underneath you before the bank will come and say, oh yeah, we're going to give you this kind of money. Talked to the bank a couple weeks ago, and they told us that once we finish our tax records and our taxes for the 2021 giving year, we will have done well enough in that 2-year period of time, with 2 years tax returns, that they'll go ahead and do this note for us. Let me tell you something. That is God. That is God. That is God. And so you can't deny it. It's God. And so God has taken care of this house, and God is going to continue to order our steps and lead us where He wants us to go. And so, listen, I'm just so thankful for those of you that are a part of Restoration, and I just appreciate you being a part of what God's called us to do. So much more. There's so much more. That's just over the next couple of months of what God's called us to do. And there's other things that we're working on for next year. And listen, year 2 is going to be a blast. I mean, just see what we've done, what God's done through us in the last 48 months or 48 weeks, and just wait to see what God does over the next 52. It's going to be incredible. Listen, we love you. At any time you need to go back and watch this video. If you have questions about anything, if you'll message us, email us, message us here on Facebook, we'll answer those. We love you. I thank you so much for being here. If you can help us tomorrow, we'll see you then. Or Tuesday, if you can help us. If you can join it, can't help us, be praying for us. Join us Wednesday night for our live feed, our Wednesday night Bible time. And if you can't be a part of any of that, we'll see you next Sunday. Listen, we love you. We hope you have a great night, and we will see you soon. Be blessed.